What a week. What a week. And I have to say that hits harder on Friday. Can I just say that?
On Friday. Yeah, it really does. And I'm so glad that we have moved to the end of the week. We are your gift. We are your weekend is starting. This is a party now. Monday, blah. Who's that? Not us. Let me tell you.
You made it. You earned it. What a week, baby. Here we go. You know what?
It never made sense that we would be talking about last week for this week. That didn't make any sense.
And now we're talking about this week. What a week. The current week that we're in.
But even though Monday, Friday, Wednesday, Tuesday, your ass, my ass, look, bottom line is, howdy do to our subscribers.
Hey! And as always, whether it's a Monday, it's a Friday, or my ass, howdy don't to our non-subscribers.
For those of you who are weekly watchers, you'll see that this episode, we're changing things up a little bit. We're getting you those stories right away. We are jam-packing this with news. You know?
Well, God forbid anything happens in the next 48 hours until we post it. But other than that, this is up to date. This is current.
Okay, so should we just dive into it?
All right.
Texas and Mississippi have decided to reopen completely 100%, and the mask mandate has been lifted. When stupid states are stupid, it's like not news. You know what I mean? Like nobody...
If a tree falls in Mississippi, no one knows about it because no one fucking lives in Mississippi.
I really did want to make a cousin fucking joke in this, but based on how long lockdown has lasted, they probably haven't been able to do that in a while anyway. Wouldn't really make sense.
To be fair, they're not kissing. That's what makes it incest. If you just fuck your cousin, no kissing with a mask on, that's actually just hanging out. So
I don't know what you and your family do, but I'm gonna have to a little bit of pushback.
It crosses the line when kissing enters the equation. So if anything, this has been their heyday.
I did take a look at the Mississippi flag, and if you see
lovely.
here,
I have to say it's beautiful.
It is a very beautiful flag, but they're actually adding underneath the "In God We Trust" in parentheses. They're putting "and not scientists." What is that? A lotus?
That's it's a beautiful flower. Where in Mississippi does this grow? Growl. I'm in Mississippi right now. Where's growl?
So for a second, let's touch on Greg Abbott because he is a monster.
Is
what?
Who is that?
Greg Abbott? Yes. He's the governor of Texas.
Right.
Greg Abbott to me reminds me of Randall from Recess because he's a bitter, unpopular man. Only 16% of Texas voted for him. He's bitter, he's unpopular, and he only associates himself with women who can't fuck at all.
You think she didn't fuck the old woman on Recess?
No.
This just in from President Biden, the U.S. will have enough COVID-19 vaccines for all adults in the United States by May. Come on. 2 months earlier than expected. I mean, we are ahead of schedule on what was originally described as a 2-week quarantine. So it's something to be happy about, right? Like we really blew them out of the water on this one, you know, guys? Big win. Also this week on Tuesday, Merck & Co. agreed to help produce the Johnson & Johnson single-dose vaccine that just got approved, a partnership Biden likened to efforts seen during WW2, which is ironic. He's comparing these efforts to a war because his preferred plan of handing out the vaccine is via carpet bomb.
Man, he had to make up for Syria. That's why he announced this shit today or whatever, because people were mad about it last week. And by mad, I mean they were making a lot of memes.
A lot of memes.
We are so, as a nation, out of touch with what is going on over there that half of our nation is like, yeah, we should probably be looking into what the fuck we're bombing. And then the other half is like, still upset about 9/11, thinks everybody over there is related to it. I mean... People, ever since the campaigning of, 9/11 was a smear campaign for the Middle East, if anything.
We'll
and
stick
people
a
are still
boot
buying
in
it.
your ass. It's the American way. Anyway, back to vaccines. If you're on Vaccine Watch, that is now Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. And I heard if you take all 3 vaccines, Kelly, you actually become the coronavirus if you're able to get it.
I heard if you take three vaccines at once, it's like the Special X formula in Powerpuff Girls. Yeah. That's what I heard.
Everything nice. That's it. I heard if you take all vaccines at once, you're erect until you die for the rest of your life.
Take all of it. I'm COVID with a heart on, dude. That's what's going on there.
We'll
stick a boot in your ass. The toys, they're ruining them to make you more comfortable at home. So, they took 6 Dr. Seuss books and they said, we're not going to be making these anymore because they got some politically incorrect underlying tones and words and whatever. And then they also said Mr. Potato Head is no longer Mr. It's a gender neutral potato. Which is a ridiculous sentence to even say.
Potato is genderless. Remember what you're fighting about.
We are not, exactly. Remember what you're fighting about. I want to talk to the person who picked up a Dr. Seuss book, handed it over to the feds, and said, I am shaken to my core by red fish, blue fish.
Lord knows I'm not reading the books and I'm not procreating anytime soon, so I'm out of this conversation for a minute.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, who's bringing it up? Is it a parent who's reading too much into it? Or is it a kid who grew up one day and was like, I know the source of my problems. It was Dr. Seuss. Like, which is it? Because I definitely think that it's a parent who's just trying to be like overly protective or whatever.
Well, what if it was like an 8-year-old and he was just like reading the book and he just looked up and asked his mom, like, is the guy in the hat a Mexican?
They probably could have just stopped printing them and said nothing. Like, who wakes up and is like, are they still making my favorite Dr. Seuss? But I don't think that's happening. The thing about Mr. Potato Head, here's I'm gonna give a debate here because I think that people believe that you should have no comment on this because it's like, really, you care about what a potato is doing or whatever. And it's like, listen, okay, I don't care if you re-announced a toy that had no gender, right? I don't care about that. But if you're going to tell me that Mr. Potato Head, a clearly masculine potato, okay, he has the mustache, he has a very masculine tone, is all of a sudden non-binary, that's where you lose me. There is no proof that he would ever go down that path. It's not like he believes in astrology. It's not like it doesn't make sense for his narrative. And it doesn't make sense for Mrs. Potato Head's narrative either. As a bitch who wears pearls, she has a purse, it doesn't line up.
My America is an America with Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head go to church every Sunday. And Mr. and Mrs. Heard that? Mr. and Mrs.
Well, there are different.
What are they going to call them? What do you call them? Potato Head and Potato Head?
I understand what you're saying, which is that, like, who cares? What are you going to call? Why do you care what you call them?
The potatoes.
Fuck you.
Taylor Swift called out Netflix and its new show, Ginny in Georgia, for its, quote, deeply sexist joke about her love life. Ginny in Georgia, they drop a new show every 20 minutes. All right, in the first episode of the show, which dropped last week, one of the characters made a joke at her expense saying, what do you care? You go through men faster than Taylor Swift. Which admittedly,
hack.
Awfully the hackiest joke. I mean, the hackiest joke. And then Taylor said, I think she tweeted it or something. She said, hey, Ginny in Georgia, 2010 called, and it wants the lazy, deeply sexist joke back.
Also hack.
Yeah.
It's hack combating hack.
Two terrible jokes don't make a right, Taylor. Okay. Horrible.
Actually, I do want to share a tweet from a friend of mine, Robert Schultz. Again, the funniest thing about Taylor Swift was never that she dates a lot of guys. The funniest thing about Taylor Swift is that her dad was a stockbroker for Merrill Lynch, and yet she still sings songs about growing up in a one-horse town. Like, her ability to be the victim in scenarios is, I mean, she's a great songwriter, but let's be honest, her real job and what she's really good at is somehow having millions and being sad.
Getting attacked. Nothing says I'm done playing the victim like demanding a public apology from a Netflix teen dramedy. You're above it. I'm done playing the victim.
First of all, no one's going to watch this fucking show, and she probably brought attention to something that no one would have noticed.
I was thinking that, yeah, Ginny and Georgia was flying under the radar until she put him on the fucking map. You know, people are probably spite watching it.
I do feel bad for her for some extent because no matter how hard she makes her life try to seem, the way she does it will never be as wonderful as the way Demi Lovato does it.
Demi Lovato's literally shooting heroin in a bathtub, and we're like, amazing, show-stopping, beautiful, never been done before. She's a queen.
So my last story is about a man who stole $40,000 of lottery tickets in what I can only call Paradise, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Do I need to tell you that he had face tattoos, or could you already guess that?
How many are we talking?
He's got two, one here and one here.
Yeah, the old temples.
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
I'm going to tell you something. Yes, go ahead.
$40,000 worth of lotto tickets, like $40,000 of scratchers, or they were winners worth $40,000?
That's the best part of it. He won 7 times, accumulating to $40,000.
He doesn't keep those winnings, huh?
I don't think so.
Government.
So here's my question though: is where do the winnings go? Who's getting the winnings?
That's the case for the FBI.
He ran off on foot, and it became an on-foot pursuit, which I fucking love. I love an on-foot pursuit. It's me versus you, jackass. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck a car, man. Like, it's man versus man.
Can I just say, I kind of get it, because, you know, you get a scratcher, and you want to get into that. You want to tear into that thing. Like, it's not like you don't get a scratcher and save it for later. So, It makes sense. The guy, like, made it as far as he could. You gotta pop down in the curb and just kind of get after it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And
give me a scratch off in a quarter. I'm good. Yeah. They're coming!
Oh, God! In the article, the police had the classic line of, while he could run, he couldn't hide. And I was just like, wow, what a bow. What a bow to tie the whole thing up with. Put a stamp on it, send it in the mail, clear to go.
I guess it's time for him to cash out. He went all in on this one.
Looks like your luck ran out this time.
From jackpot to crackpot. Cuomo addresses harassment claims, vows to stay in office. Governor Andrew Cuomo, pictured here grabbing for a titty, has issued a public apology.
Thanks, Cuomo.
Thanks, Cuomo. The apology, he says he's learned a lot, but will stay in office. He's learned a lot about how people want to be treated. This is just a classic. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Also said by a classic Gotham City supervillain, Harvey Dent. I'm actually proud of him because he now understands that it turns out asking a young staffer if she would entertain being in an open relationship with an older man might come off as a little wonky. If he understands that now. Now he gets it. You know what I mean? He's also reportedly going to stop ending every meeting with what he calls a, quote, kiss to seal the deal. He's going to stop that. Now, the What a Week team, we reached out to a New York City nursing home for comment on the story, but unfortunately, Governor Cuomo had already taken them all out. So we couldn't get in touch with them.
He really does come across as like a mob boss who just does not have his shit together.
He's not good at it.
No. He accidentally sends the messages to kill off the wrong guy.
Yeah. He lost me. I know it was fucking cool. Every woman over the age of 35 was like, Daddy Cuomo in his PowerPoints. But I have to say, this motherfucker, never forget, which is the worst thing he's ever done. He wrote a book about solving COVID midway through COVID. Actually, another opportunity for a great tweet to share. My friend Eric Oligny, fellow comic, trash bag from Florida, he tweeted something. Let me get it. Eric tweeted, when they throw the book at Cuomo, I hope it's his book.
What a week, everyone!
What a week! You know what? Have fun this weekend. You know, get out there. If you're in Texas, get fucking wild, get weird. It's legal in Mississippi. Cut some throats. There's no laws. Purge this weekend. Enjoy yourself. And everywhere else, remember, you're guilty for being alive. Have a good week. Thank you.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.